Greetings, Craddock here. Today we're going to be talking about the Inez Fire Ally Speed build, which is going to be rather interesting. Quite a different take on this version with my second attempt here in configuring it. So before we begin though, I wanted to highlight Baskinator's Inez Water and Fire Ally guide, particularly his Fire Ally build. Was really good, and I actually tested it out. It uses the Ingeom and Messerschmitt's combo for quick resets on the Mystic Ally activation. It also features Squirt's necklace with the Aughilds and has the Molten Wildebeest Gizzard to help assist in uptime, as well as the Serenity. So a lot of the core elements of this particular build, after testing it and feeling out like something that had like a quicker clear potential, I really liked, and I actually took over into this revision of my build. So I wanted to point it out and just point you that way. Links will be in the description if you want to check it out. So one of the negatives about this build that I did not like as a returning Monk player that's not as privy on like how to avoid things with Monk and such is it was very glass cannon. So that's something I will be taking a look at in my version as well. So let's dive in. So compared to the Ingeom Messerschmitt's setup in Baskinator's build, we're actually going to be running an Ingeom Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac combination. And this gives the build a little bit different playstyle. You're not going to get cooldown resets when you kill enemies anymore, so density isn't necessarily a factor, which was appealing to me because if I got into low density areas or levels, that was one of the things that I like to be consistent. So being able to spam my Cyclone Strike, proc the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, resetting our skills with my own actions is very appealing. Now, the only way that this is feasible is through very, very high attack speeds. So for this reason, we are going to slot both the Flying Dragon, doubling a chance to double our attack speed when attacking, and then we're also slotting the Echoing Fury. And it kind of seems like these is kind of excessive because the Flying Dragon alone will get you to 5 APS when it's up. But that's just the thing, the Flying Dragon is not up the entire rift. Sometimes it takes a while to proc, and what better to help proc the Flying Dragon than the Echoing Fury. So these two kind of feed off of one another. You're able to kill enemies a lot better when the Flying Dragon is up, but to get kind of like Catalyst going, sometimes just killing smaller enemies will help you proc it that much quicker. So they kind of play off one another until you get to the Rift Guardian, where your Echoing Fury stacks, which have been pivotal during the Rift, they then drop usually against Rift Guardian. So you'll be relying then on your Flying Dragon, which is one of the main benefits of having the Flying Dragon is helping you kill the Rift Guardian, especially since this particular build, you'll notice, does not have Squirt's necklace. So a lot of the benefit that you usually would have against a Rift Guardian in getting your Squirt's stacks up and running, that double damage you're not going to have. The flip side, Bartucs is actually going to be one of the reasons that this build shines. In fact, you're probably wondering why. How does this build work in comparison to a no squirts build? How is it actually achieving more damage? And the answer is just because we have such a higher attack speed base as compared to a Messerschmitt's Reaver comp, we're actually able to apply the Bartuc's Cutthroat debuff a lot more rapidly than the Messerschmitt's Reaver build would be able to in comparison. So this is one of the ways that this build is going to make up for not having a Squirt's necklace. And indeed, it does feel like it's very similar in clear time to the Messerschmitt's Reaver build. And I actually prefer this playstyle, so I'm super happy that I don't have to manage a Squirt's necklace, basically, and still clear these rifts in a manageable amount of time. So our third gem, we're able to slot Go Swiftness, getting us even closer, tighter timings on our cooldown, extra attack speed to hit the 2.5 per second breakpoint for our flying dragon double damage, right? And then we also have the dodge here, which is going to be important in the defensive section, right? I forgot to mention seize the initiative, also large attack speed bonus there, but yeah. Serenity was actually still a really good choice because the monk is so glass cannon. You cannot rely on dodge to keep you alive, especially when you come in contact with mob types like grotesque explosions. Those will kill you so quickly, even with double second life proc. It will eat through. So Serenity is still going to be a pick here just to stay alive. But in that sense, you don't have to manage it. You don't have to expend it just to preserve your Squirt's necklace stacks. You can actually choose a little bit better on when you need to survive rather than sort of supporting the multiplier. It's more of a benefit to your character staying alive, which is actually, it feels really great as a returning player again. So, other key points here is we're keeping the Aughilds because it gives us a nice multiplier against elites, elite damage reduction, all good things, right? The crafted set here is going to be quite a nice placement. You'll notice though the jewelry is quite different. We're not running the focus and restraint, which would fit in perfectly because you still have to run a generator. It's so expensive, right? So it's kind of odd that I've chosen to go endless walk, but in my testing, this is actually what worked better than the focus and restraint for this non-Squirts build, is just fitting it in this way. It does, as a benefit, give you more toughness when you're on the move, which is quite nice for setting up. So you post up and then you stand still once you encounter an elite pack or a large area of density. That's the play style of this build will be. And it's fine to run around to shift this multiplier back and forth, but once you engage and start attacking enemies, you want to stand still, probably use your Serenity to help you survive once the toughness here has shifted all the way to a multiplier. Give it a different playstyle, and indeed it's probably not going to be as good as compared to the Messerschmitt's build on those, say if you were to drop the Greater Rift level 5 Greater Rifts, that level of GR, it probably would not perform as well because you would have not have this multiplier up as often and it would detract from your damage at those levels. However, on the flip side, if you were to increase the Greater Rift, say 1 or 2 Greater Rifts, I don't think it would clear that much worse than it already is as compared to a Messerschmitt's, which a Messerschmitt's starts to not work at a certain point. If you aren't able to kill enemies consistently, you aren't getting those resets with the Messerschmitt reader bonus. So they both have different issues on the flip side of their scaling, right? So anyways, I prefer the higher side of the scaling anyway, so this is quite nice composition in this sense. Now notice we are going to wear the crudest boots, we're going to cube the bindings of the lesser gods. Cycloning enemies is going to be very important. That's why we use implosion. So even though we have some pretty cool runes here, Soothing Breeze was actually really nice for recovery, but the radius is just going to reign supreme because you affect more enemies, you pull in more enemies in a wider area. Now you're going to be casting Cyclone Strike Implosion most of the rift, but you do want to actively cast your assimilation into heavy density before you explode your fire allies. This will increase your additive damage, the ratio of additive damage for this particular build. I think you get some from the fire ally, you get some from the base rune of your mantra perhaps. Aside from that, you don't have quite a lot of additive damage, so having assimilation here is quite nice. Now you notice we are spending spirit quite often. You might be wondering why not place something that would restore spirit a little bit better, such as Rising Tide on Crippling Wave, or the Quickening on Fists of Thunder, which both would restore spirit faster. And indeed you can do that when you're just learning the build. However, if you want to push it to its limits, when you get it spec'd out fully with enough cooldown, the activations of your Mystic Ally, these return 200 spirit each time you press them. So higher cooldown actually leads to higher returns of spirit. And combined with a little bit of RCR and gear, this actually gets you enough spirit returns that you mostly don't need to cast your generator. However, slotting in that sense, since the generator isn't mostly not required anymore in most rifts, but we still need it in case we do, assimilation has great placement here for that particular function. RCR, you will want to run it on the weapon, and you can put it on the shoulder piece in place of vitality. However, since we are wearing the obsidian ring of the Zodiac, I advise just drop the attack speed here, go with the RCR instead. And this seems to be the perfect amount. I don't think you need the attack speed on the NGL. It actually is kind of nice, in my opinion, if both weapons are the same base in terms of balancing attack speed. The Gogok gets you enough attack speed to hit, again, the doubled Flying Dragon 5 APS. So, yeah. So for a 5th passive, we're actually running, I'm very excited about this, Exalted Soul. Never gets to see the light of day. Actually makes sense for this build because Maximum Spirit as an affix is going to be extremely helpful in making sure that you have enough spirit to dump on your Cyclone Strike, because the larger your pool is, and remember we're attacking so fast with this build that you can dump your entire pool of spirit without even blinking an eye. That it's extremely helpful because you don't need to gear as much resource cost reduction in other places. So max spirit to 50, and also gives us a little bit of spirit regeneration per second, which is always nice for such a spirit hungry build. Now notably, getting plus max spirit on the helmet will also be quite helpful, and you can also get this from Paragon, don't forget. So definitely put this into Paragon. Cooldown, of course, going to be quite important. Note we are slotting everywhere except the neck, basically. We have Beacon of Yitar, Gogok, we have the Prophetic Harmony from the Enchantress gems, we have right, left, rings, shoulders, offhand, and the gloves, of course. So quite a lot of cooldown reduction coming into effect here, 68.93 to get as close as possible to instant resets on our Mystic Ally. It will be very close to a few seconds once Ingeom is active. If Ingeom is not active, it's still a reasonable reset timer, so there is that, indeed. Otherwise, you'll notice defensively, we are running quite a lot of dodge. We're going to run Blinding Speed and Guardian's Path to help us out in situations, especially that we have our Serenity is down, right? So normal engagements, you might want to preserve. If you don't need to cast your Serenity, you don't have to, remember that. So the dodge from these 3 items and skills is actually going to help you out quite a bit in those situations. Just preserving your cooldown and making sure your Zodiac procs go towards either your fire ally or your Epiphany or Dashing Strike instead. Now, notably, you can, when you're casting your Serenity, just stop moving. And in fact, that might be the play for this reason, because if your Dashing Strike has 2 charges, it won't soak any more Zodiac procs, and it will be easier to reset your abilities even still. Notably, we are using the Sixth Sense passive. This is only because at these earlier in season or gearing configurations in which you don't have Ancients with secondary resistances, Sixth Sense is just better than Harmony. However, if you are able to get items that have secondary resistances spec'd out as Ancient, you can eventually transition into Harmony and get about 20% more toughness from gearing that way. However, the basic setup is going to run all resistance on the chest piece, belt, pants, and boots. You can run Vitality on the shoulder piece and bracers. However, if you happen to get all resistance on those 2 pieces as well, you can place it there. It's not such a big deal. However, the base of Vitality on from the helm and those 2 pieces especially is going to be quite nice because the Inna's set comes with a lot of life percentage. So the bonus from Earth Ally, passive Mystic Ally, gives you 20% life. This is doubled once from the 2-piece Inna's bonus. And then it's also doubled again because we actually have 2 Mystic Allies. So you're actually getting 80% life. not just that. So having the extra vitality on gear, and from Paragon, we put a little bit from Paragon as well, is going to be quite nice for increasing your total HP, maximum life, and helping you survive those bigger hits especially. We have a lot of life per hit coming from the Bartucs cut through, going to be important as well because we are, again, attacking very fast, and keeping our life pool tip top is going to be quite nice. Yeah, I think multipliers coming in from the Enforcer and Vanilla Trapped. So the 90% damage reduction from the Enforcer is actually going to keep your Enchantress alive, letting us run the gains access to all skills, giving us the second life passive, Focused Mind for extra attack speed, defense from the powered shield, amplification for the elemental damage, and prophetic harmony with the cooldown, getting a lot of utility from this follower. Remember that we're going to use the Nemesis Bracers and Flavor of Time standard, of course, but you can also use Ice Climbers to keep her from being frozen, and then a little bit of extra experience. And perhaps Toughness from going Leorix with the Canes are going to be very helpful. Notably, the Enchantress will die, even with this 90% reduction at these greater 120 speed levels. This is about where the follower starts failing, so I will advise that you start gearing not only with just shooting for that 25k int to benefit at 100% from your follower skills, but also start thinking about, is there vitality, is there armor resistance, is there armor, is there life percentage on the gear that I'm placing on my follower. In addition to that, also start thinking about adding on the Esoteric Alteration and the Mutilation Guard, leveled up of course, because you will want to keep your follower alive so you can benefit from the Nemesis Blazer and the Flavor of Time. If you don't have those up and you click on the pylon and the follower is dead, you won't get those as a bonus, which is highly detrimental in my opinion. So just, yeah, look into that. You can still run this token, but definitely look into keeping your follower tough. Secondaries, also you're going to want to shoot for pickup radius. So wherever you can fit it in, pickup radius is going to be very helpful for scooping up those orbs. So the Rift Guardian Perendi is actually really tricky because there is currently a bug where the Fire Mystic Ally activation, they will not seek out this Rift Guardian to explode. And this makes the matter of killing the Rift Guardian rather complicated. They do tend to seek out the adds that spawn from Perendi. So the strategy then becomes, whenever a ad spawns from Perendi, just try and position Perendi right next to that ad, and you'll get some of the explosion damage onto the boss as well. It's still problematic because it's very difficult to survive on the monk. Kill times with a power pylon can be, close to 30 seconds. However, if you're not that fortunate and you don't have pylon support, it could take up to, a minute or even more. Try your best to dodge and use your Serenity to survive. And that's going to do it for this guide. I hope you really enjoy this build. It's been a hell of a time testing. I tested so many different variations, focus and restraint squirts, all the different passives, all the different affixes that you can tune. I tested Bane of the Powerful, Esoteric, all these gems, different weapons, Furnace, like you can run Messersmiths in combination with this. You could run so many different combinations, and just kind of dialing it in, figuring out, I'm very excited for. So I hope you enjoy this. Thank you. Take care.